Hey everyone, Grim here with Musical History. We're trying out a little bit of different content today. Normally, you would see me at 40 Minutes of Nonsense, which is usually just a platform where I can basically brain vomit. But today, we have a topic, we have a task at hand. We're gonna be focusing on music. I've loved music for many years. I'm sure everybody loves music. But I was always interested in the aspect of music from kind of a history standpoint. So, music history, learning about different composers, artists, and whatnot. So, I figured today we'll do that. So, without any further stalling, into the show. So, music is a truly wonderful thing. By now, you've probably already heard several different genres of music, probably already developed your own musical taste. The question is, how much do you actually know about its history? Well, in order to break down musical history, I want to start by breaking down the different eras of music or the different generations of music. Now, normally that would be a great place to start, but we're going to go back a little bit further. We're going to go back about 60,000 years ago. So, it is actually said that the earliest instrument known to man is actually the human being itself. We can clap, we can snap, we can stomp, we can even sing. We can do a multitude of things just from being human. Aside from the human being, though, an archaeologist known as Ivan Turk found a flute in 1995. He found it in, I believe it was a cave somewhere in Slovenia. And this flute is really cool looking too. I mean, ancient. You can tell it's handmade, that sort of thing. Um, but this instrument is not unique to Slovenia. As a matter of fact, we see different instruments like this being used by ancient Nordic cultures, Native American cultures. We even see ancient Egyptians using a lot of the same music instruments. But going, fast forwarding a little bit, we get to modern era. Uh, we have since learned about multitudes of generations or eras of music. But as a way of kind of compartmentalizing or breaking them down, kind of keeping everything simple, we'll focus on what's called the six eras of music. So these distinct eras are as follows. You have, and of course, these are in no particular order. But that being said, afterward, I will be placing these in order. So the six of them consist of the medieval period, the Renaissance period, Baroque, Romantic, Classical, and Modern. We're going to start off the bat with the medieval period. The medieval period is arguably, actually, it's not even arguable. It is the least complex. This music is usually what you would call like church hymns or kind of like the chants and stuff like that. So very basic music, not a whole lot going on. Fast forward, we get into Renaissance period. The Renaissance period was where you started to see things start to be introduced, like the concept of polyphony. And if you want to look that up, or definitely feel free to Google that. The easiest definition for that is um, several instruments or segments of a song being played at different times. This period definitely focused on writing songs about different tales or different stories, and some of them just being about life in general. So if you've heard a song about, slaying a dragon or something like that, or uh, fair maiden wishing her love farewell, something like that, odds are it's probably from the Renaissance period. Fast forwarding, we've got the Baroque period. Now, the Baroque period could be seen as kind of a time where music became more, should we say, fancy or complicated. Musicians at this time were kind of experimenting. They started doing different things with musical notes. They tried to see how different things interacted with each other, and we even see the introduction of a concept known as counterpoint. Counterpoint is an interaction of multiple melodies, as opposed to kind of that secular sound that you got from the earlier periods. So instead of one thing at one time, it's multiple things happening at multiple different times. So it's a really cool concept. The era of Baroque was just super fun, and this is actually where we get to see two really cool composers, Bach and Vivaldi. They were amazing, amazing composers. Jumping to the classical period, though, things kind of get a little bit more simplified through a process known as homophony. This just means that all the parts of a song or different composition are actually being played at the same time. So no more of this section one, section two stuff. It's everything. So this means your horns, your opera, your everything. So everything being played all at the same time. Two great composers to come out of this time are, you've probably heard of these guys, Mozart and Beethoven. Yeah, those guys came out of that wonderful classical period. Now we enter one of my personal favorite eras of music, which is the Romantic period. I like to refer to this as classical punk rock because if you really want to think about it, these guys broke the mold. This is a time where composers began to kind of really truly freely express themselves, and music began to have a bit more flair, a bit more pizzazz, that sort of thing. Two composers that jump out right off the top of my head would be Chopin and Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky is actually very famous because he implemented a canon in one of his compositions. So you can't get much more punk rock than that. I mean, the dude was setting off cannons. But now we get to the cool stuff, or at least the more modern stuff. Yes, we're talking about the modern era. This is where we begin to see musicians kind of emphasize the concept of lyricism and rhythm and incorporating different factors into their music. So it's not just about the lyrics and the rhythm, it's also got to have a beat, it's got to be commercially marketable, that sort of thing. Um, but we do still have great composers and great artists and great musicians nowadays. As a matter of fact, if you're looking for great modern composers, you don't need to look much further than someone like John Williams, or even the composing duo of Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, I believe his name was. Um, of course, getting into all of that, breaking everything down. Um, Now that we've kind of broken everything down, I want to let you guys know that with everything said here, this is just a setting stage. Now we're going to be getting into the real cool stuff. The cool stuff to come is going to be talking about the different genres of music. So, modern music consists of different genres such as rock and roll, blues, country, hip hop, and even within some of those mainstream genres, you begin to see subgenres. You begin to see where things kind of splinter off. One genre may even blend with another. So, the next time we see each other, the next time we talk, we'll go through each of the genres, discuss where each of those genres kind of got their start, and talk about some very famous artists from within that genre. But for now, though, like and sub for more. Remember, love yourself, be kind to one another, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye.